too long ago.
Hello, and welcome to another
So
episode.
nervous.
This is what, episode 51?
It's 51.
Welcome to episode 51 of the Mack Brothers podcast. Today's John's first time on camera. Say hi to John.
Hello. We're sitting at a table.
We're sitting at a table. Actually, I'm just floating. I'm seated in midair. That's actually what I'm doing.
We're actually, as you can tell behind us, we're actually in Italy.
Yeah, this is a little town in Italy called Minnesota.
So, Matthew, how was your day?
I had a terrible day. I saw you on my lunch break, so it was awful.
What are you drinking? Coffee?
That was a coffee break.
I'm drinking coffee.
You
There's
know,
a cup of coffee by the Mack Brothers.
and you know who got us this cup right here? This is our good pal
MT4.
Hooking us up with the cup. Professional.
So, what do you
bowler.
want to talk about today, Matthew? This is an important episode.
John, I have nothing to talk about. You have nothing to talk about? I say we wrap it up early.
Yep.
It's
I
world's
think
slowest,
we should
world's fastest
mention.
podcast.
I think that we should mention. No, there's actually a 30-word podcast.
Well, that sounds like a waste.
Yeah.
Or it
You
sounds
can make
like
a lot of episodes.
Or it sounds like a really good use of time, depending on
What you're
you like.
saying.
Yeah, depending on what they're saying.
I think if we had to pick 30 words, it would be the Eagles are in the fucking Super Bowl.
Bowl.
And then
Oh my Lord!
do
Tom
that
Brady
10
retired
times.
today
Tom Brady retired, and the Eagles
for the
are going
second
to Super Bowl.
time.
You know, the last playoff team he beat, the last game he won in the playoffs was against the Eagles.
Yeah, it was. It was last year, right?
Whoa.
So who won the Super Bowl? I don't even remember who won the Super Bowl last year.
Rams.
The Rams
Was it
won
the
the
Rams?
I don't know. I don't remember. Could you ask the Google? Jamie, can you Google that? Yeah, in the meantime, that was such a great win by the Eagles. We're both so excited to keep up to date with everything that's going on in Philly sports. You should go listen to our friends podcast.
I was right. The Rams. The Rams beat the Bengals.
Damn, they didn't do shit this year.
Mm-mm.
So to stay up to date on everything going on with Philly sports, go check out. Just go on Google. Go anywhere. YouTube, Twitter, Facebook,
YouTube.
anywhere you could search for something. Type in "Fired Up Sports" with a PH.
Fired up with a PH.
Those are our buds. They have great content, and you should go enjoy it.
This seems like a sleepy pod, don't it?
This seems like a sleepy pod, yeah. So for anyone who doesn't know, there's several kinds of podcasts, and sometimes you have the exciting type. Sometimes we have like the Mike Scrivani award show level podcasts,
Yeah.
and then sometimes we have sleepy pods. And this is, it's a consequence.
We're both in pajamas. We're both drinking coffee, trying to stay awake.
We're trying to perk up. So like 20 minutes from now, this podcast is going to be wild. Think about this, right? So we're talking about sleepy podcasts, talking about being tired. There's people that they don't deal with that at all. So I'm going to turn into like Lex Friedman real quick. So we're going to have more of a Lex Friedman kind of podcast.
No.
There's people that will do drugs like cocaine and like ecstasy to stay awake for multiple days. Do you see yourself doing that when you get tired?
No.
Okay, that was the Lex Friedman question of the day. I love his podcast, but boy, does he have a sleepy podcast.
Yeah, he's a sleepy boy.
He's a very sleepy boy.
But I think you could do that when you have the audio. We have to get audio.
Our audio, I don't know, like
just audio.
Listen, because his podcast, the most popular platform his podcast is on YouTube.
YouTube.
Yeah, like his thing is video. He has like his Lex Friedman Clips channel has like 800,000 subscribers. Well, I mean, he's an MIT dude, and he was on Rogan. I mean, of course.
We're actually going to be on Rogan tomorrow.
Yeah, well, I'm actually on Joe Rogan right now. This is pre-recorded, and 10 minutes after I took my jet out to Texas.
I think this light makes us look paler than we are.
I feel very sullen.
I think we're a bit more olive than it's showing.
So, our good friend, I've had this idea for a while. So, what I really want to do, our good friend Honeybats, I'm going to refer to her as Honeybats on the podcast. Our good friend Honeybats is super goth, and I think it's cool. I've had this idea lately where I want it. I mean, it has to be her, but it could be someone else too. I want to go to like a goth like rave or like a goth type of event with other goths, and I want to be in full goth. Because I think it would be fun. I think it would be fun to dip into a subculture. I mean, it doesn't have to be goth. It could be anything.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, unless it's like
Can we dip into our own like indie rock subculture and just because we didn't dip into that either.
I think we're in that already, though, aren't we?
I think we kind of started. We have like this weird, like we're in our own subculture of.
I don't know. I don't worry about that. I worry about doing me.
East Coast indie rock.
I hate to interrupt. I hit all my goals today on my Apple Watch.
Good for you.
East Coast indie rock,
where like it's not like you know we wear tracksuits and we threaten to put people in trunks and then we play a really great 45-minute set.
Yeah, I mean that's a
great indie rock.
You know what though? But then on the other hand, and I think what the Mack Brothers podcast, like and subscribe. I think what that's done, I think partially too, is because yes, if someone tests us, they can be put into a trunk. That can happen. But also, that's more if they test us physically. And I think what this podcast has done, it's shown that we're able to handle mental tests as well. Maybe not very difficult ones. I'm not saying I could take down a puzzle. I'm not saying that. Puzzle. I can't do a puzzle.
I might get lost in a maze.
No. Not like a tabletop puzzle. Not like I'm doing 500 pieces. I mean like an escape room thing.
Oh, yeah, no way.
I'll shrivel up in fear, and I'll starve to death.
Well, I don't know. You don't think the workers would come and get you?
I'll refuse to leave the room. No, but what I think, like, I always imagined the good part about, I mean, at least when we were in I can't get out. I refuse to leave.
No! Stop it!
I'm demoralized. If I can't find my way out, this is where
the people from the next crowd are stepping over your body, trying to find clues.
So I think the premise behind it is my own pride gets in the way.
Even though you're shackled with fear, you're also too prideful to
I have to escape on my own.
But you just can't get out of the corner?
No, I'm still trying to escape, but I'm so frantic that I can't possibly figure out a solution. I can't, I destroy other parts of the room before I even figure out a way out.
I would probably break something by accident.
No, I mean, I think actually we would probably both do decent. You know what? I don't know. This is my brain goes left, right, up, down, sideways a million times. But I think if there was a zombie apocalypse, I think I'd do well.
I don't think I would.
I think I would. You know why? Because I've thought about it so much, like all these other people have, and I think that I'd do really well in a zombie apocalypse, even though I'm out of shape and I've never killed anything, and I think I do well despite all that. I've never foraged.
I
haven't built any of the skills necessary, but
I've never given it any thought unless like a very quick hypothetical was brought up and I thought about it for a second.
Yeah. Because
it's never going to happen.
Yeah, it's not.
And I think about things that'll never happen, but I have to pick and choose my imaginary battles.
But I think the things you're thinking about not happening, I think that the things that you're thinking about not happening, I think that they're less likely to happen than a zombie apocalypse. But I digress. You know, what I was trying to say before is I think what the Mack Brothers podcast has done is kind of give more of an outlet to like more of an outlet to, I don't know, talk about shit that's not throwing people in trunks.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I feel like that was like very much of us as the 1940s. Like, oh, we'll shove you in the trunk and we'll wear a tracksuit while we're doing it. You know what I mean? Now I feel like I could, on the drive to wherever I got to drop the person off that's in the trunk, I feel like I could engage in some intellectual, more of an intellectual side of things too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I think pretty
but
soon... But
different strokes for different folks.
I think pretty soon... I think musically we're going to get a little bit rowdier than we were, and as the Mack brothers so far.
I have to agree with you. I would say in the very near future, people that are watching or listening or whatever you're doing, we will have an announcement.
Announcement's coming soon.
It's going to be soon. We're going to have some news soon. We're going to be teasing our news. During the next couple weeks, I'm gonna
bully the shit out of our news.
We're gonna bully. We're gonna do like what the Red Turkey Sanchez is doing every single day, and they're like, we have a big announcement coming up.
Yeah.
Do you know Saturday. What I mean? Yes, on Saturday. See, John, that's because they don't stop talking about it.
There's only two sports podcasts. There's only two sports podcasts in the whole world. One of them is Fired Up, and they encompass all the sports in Philly. And there's only one Sixers podcast, and it's the Red Turkey Sanchez. And you have to say the name or you're not a real fan.
You have to say the name or you're not a real fan. That's true. That's definitely true. So
speaking of saying names.
Okay.
The sponsor of the pod today
yeah, that's right.
is League Island Brewing Club. Delicious. I can't say enough about them. I drank, you know what? I got so drunk when the Eagles won Sunday. I don't remember which couple I had, but I had maybe 3 or 4, because it's a special occasion. And you should start with League Island Brewing Club when you're going to start drinking, because you'll remember what the names are. You'll appreciate it more, because it's not only is it delicious and it'll mess you up, but it's an experience. And when you start it already drunk, you don't experience as well. So I did make the mistake, but I drank 3 or 4, and Jim, I kept the bottles. League Island Brewing Club, the best beer to celebrate the Eagles. Back to the pod.
They're in a league of their own.
Ooh, Jesus' favorite beer.
So, I had something happen this week. I got great news.
Oh, what's it? What it?
Succession returns March 26th.
Oh yeah, that's right.
I can't wait. I love that show so much. It's such a great show. I just wanted to put things Matthew is excited about. That's on the list. That's a bullet point. Speaking of Jesus, I wanted to talk to you about Jesus.
Okay.
I wanted to issue a public apology for all of my statements. I didn't mean to disrespect Tony Soprano by comparing him to Jesus.
Yeah. Well, no, you compared him to God. Chris Moltisanti was...
I didn't mean to disrespect any of them by comparing
besides
them.
Don Lemon. Don Lemon was Jesus.
I hate Don Lemon.
Yeah.
I don't like people on CNN.
No.
But I hate Don Lemon. You know, this is...
I told you, he compared himself to...
I think Don Lemon
George.
is someone on this list who, thinks they actually are. I don't know if he thinks he's Jesus, but I definitely think he thinks he's more Christ-like than the average person does.
Oh, yeah.
For sure. For sure. Just by the way he talks.
They're also full of shit.
Oh, my
Rachel
Lord.
Maddow.
Here's the thing.
Tucker Carlson. Oh, he's like the chief of being a piece of shit.
You ever just... He looks at the camera. He's like when he's listening to someone. If someone actually listened to you like that in real life, you'd ask them, "Are you okay?"
Yeah.
Like, are you all right?
Oh, did you see Jimmy Dore, who I generally
I have such a weird
I have a
relationship
big
with this content now.
I have a weird appreciation for him, but he's like basically a right-wing guy now.
It's weird.
But he got caught on Twitter he got caught acting like it was his burner account.
Yeah.
Tweeting as himself. He was saying his name in the third person and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah.
And it felt good, but it also felt a little bad because I was like, man, look how fucking far he fell. But at the same time, he's the one who got me into like Nina Turner. He's the one who got me into. Well, he's the one who like really ignited the fire under how upset I was about Bernie Sanders.
You know, the thing about Jimmy that I've noticed is it seems like a lot of the things that people get caught up on, people just go, oh, you know, it's really hard to be like, this person's getting their information from someone that's well sourced or citing an article that's well sourced. Mm-hmm. That's the kicker, because it could seem well sourced, it could seem like it's coming from someone good, but even with like the Twitter files situation, you know, at first it was so anti-Democrat that it looked partisan. And if you're looking for like what's actually going on, things aren't going to be, you know, they're not going to be partisan. They're going to be bipartisan because both parties are totally screwed up in different ways, but they're still, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like this guy murdered 5 people. This guy murdered 15 people. The one who murdered 15 was maybe a little bit more gentle about it. The other person was just cutting people's heads off in broad daylight.
Yeah.
They're still murderers. That's just how they go about the murder.
Mm-hmm.
That's different. So it's hard. It's very like, you know, these people that are online shouting, they have to do that to get their clicks.
Yeah.
Even people on YouTube, they criticize the mainstream media people for doing it.
We should really.
The Mack News.
Can we be like the new Stephen Colbert, where we act like we're like Republicans and like or not even Republicans, like the harsh right?
Yeah.
But we do it as Colbert, but maybe we trick them so much that they also offer us $50 million. I'm
going to explain why it's hard to do that anymore.
Is it because of all of our old content?
No, it has nothing to do with that.
No, they won't watch us burying...
John, somebody got elected to Congress, like, and he lied about his whole life.
What was his name again?
George Santos.
Santos.
If that's his real name.
Soros.
That's a good point.
I really don't remember.
No, George Soros is a billionaire.
Him,
he's a Jewish billionaire that everyone thinks is like in charge of the Illuminati. Like certain conspiracy theorists are like
certain complete face mask.
Marjorie Taylor Greene said something. So, I mean, she's banned from our podcast, but
she's a dumb sack of bones, ain't she?
Yeah, she's. I would instead of bones, I would probably say shit.
Yeah.
I'm trying to find this tweet. Oh, there it is. There it is. So they're talking about critical race theory, which is like this hot button issue now.
Oh, this fucking goof.
So Green, can you tell me how much money went to CRT? This was earlier today. This is a C-SPAN from the House of Representatives. Some guy said CRT, like I guess he didn't know what it meant. She said this is why it's hard to be Stephen Colbert, because the actual people are so crazy.
They're so crazy
that you have to call for open you know, like, we need another Holocaust. Like, that's the level you need to go to.
Yeah, to be.
It's a racist curriculum that is used to teach children that somehow their white skin is not equal to black skin and other things.
Oh my God Almighty!
So it's like she's so. Oh shit! AEW house shows are coming.
They weren't there before.
No, they never did house shows. They just did dark and all that shit. But besides the point, that's totally off subject. But I think I could pull it off. With all that being said, I think I could. I
don't think you got to be right of them. I think you have to be in agreement with them, and then
want to take it a step further.
And then I like what are those dudes on TikTok that they act like they're conservative and then they trick conservatives into like agreeing with socialist policies.
Yeah, they take to the street and they trick people.
But what they do need to do, well, you can't because everyone knows their face now. But there has to be a talk show, like with a legit background.
It needs to be like a New Age Colbert Report.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Like how great would it be? See this if Jimmy Dore didn't lose his mind on the COVID shit.
Yeah.
And all.
He would have been good for it.
He could have done it.
He's just going too far on it. Like people here's my thing, right? This has always been my thing. People that make real change know how to wield power, know how to use it. They know how to form narratives, and they know how to drive them home and put their opponents in bad positions so they can win.
Yeah.
If you're gonna go oh, the COVID. COVID's not in people's mind anymore.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, yeah, people were fleeced, but sometimes the way he goes about that's part of the information isn't going to be effective towards achieving his end goals.
No,
I don't think.
If anything, he's driving. But I think this is his point. His thing is that if you keep voting blue no matter who,
yeah,
you're going to be stuck with the same bullshit.
Yes, I agree.
And it's always going to be center, or it's always going to be closer to right than left.
Yes.
And it's always going to be like that, which I get the point. But what he's doing is he's tricking, or not even maybe tricking is not the right word, but he's basically pushing his fans towards Republicans that will ruin our lives now.
Yes. I
agree. Like it, and I hate the fact that it's like you know, if it was a Hillary type versus a Trump type. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I hate that. I would love if it was a Katie Porter or a Nina Turner that we could vote for.
Or years ago, Bernie.
But we're not. Or years ago, Bernie.
Yeah.
And I think we'll get there. I would like to think we'll get there in 2024, but that ain't fucking happening.
Yeah.
Because you just got the mainstream media is still, as much as we don't like it.
Yeah.
And it's slowly losing its touch. It's losing a shit ton of viewers. But it's still, when it comes to voting, when it comes to
well, it's ingrained in the system still.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's sad, but Jimmy Dore, who's older, I don't know how much older, but he's probably in his 50s.
50s, I'd say.
Sadly, these people got to die.
Yeah.
And you still got these fucked up Democrats and Republicans because the living age is now older. The wealthy people live till they're 100.
How about
unless they've done drugs
Dianne
or something.
Feinstein, right?
Oh my God, yeah.
Who's
what I'm saying.
Who I think is almost 20 years older than our grandmother.
Yeah.
Has not announced her plans yet for her next term.
She's demented.
She actually literally might have dementia.
She does.
So it's one of those things where it's like it's irresponsible. The same way, you know, Ruth Bader Ginsburg should have stepped down.
Years
so Obama could have put somebody in at the beginning of his term.
Yeah. These prideful old
But here's the thing.
And men.
Here's the thing. You have to look at everything the way I started looking at things now, like Twitter and Facebook and all that, from, you know, not like the section where you're scrolling and you see your friend post something, but like the political sections and the news and entertainment stuff that you see, or TikTok. Everything is made now for the lizard brain, including mainstream media. It's just it's conditioning, you know.
Yeah.
It's not that some of the questions they don't ask aren't good, or some of the segments they run aren't informative. It's that they won't cover whole huge issues that are going on. They won't cover a labor movement. They won't cover like all them Starbucks that unionized. You know, that's a huge deal in the real world.
Yeah.
But that's not the real world. So it's one of those things where it's like everyone has a bubble.
Mm-hmm.
People in the Jimmy Dore bubble, you're totally right. He's pushing them, and that's what you see. But then you see a lot of like disunity amongst people. That's why, like, for me, I'm always trying to find information that's like that cuts through. I'm always trying to find sources that cut through.
Yeah.
So I actually know what's going on, because I listen to a lot of shit and I'm like, that's bullshit. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like I try and pay attention to like. Every now and then, what's MSNBC saying? What's CNN saying? What's Fox News saying? But since I have such a wide berth now for information, you know, a lot of it just looks like bullshit to me. But like some of the stuff Jimmy Dore says looks like bullshit to me. Like he's so betrayed about Democrats. Yeah. I just don't see the system that way anymore. I don't see like, oh, this two-party system where there's good guys and like there are no good guys.
I got a really good I watched a Rogan podcast because I love when he has the archaeologist on. Yeah. And I like Graham Hancock.
His podcast is guest dependent.
Yeah. He has
a great guest
I could never listen to him by himself.
Like I didn't listen to Jordan Peterson.
I don't like his stand-up. Yeah, I didn't watch that at all.
Yeah.
But.
Yeah, Rogan's stand-up sucks.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of Rogan's stand-up. It's very like.
He has a unique talent for talking to people. He doesn't have a
super
unique
curious
talent at talking at people.
Yeah, anytime he has a guest on that I like, I listen to the whole 3.5 hours. It's riveting. Until he starts talking about UFC, and then I skipped it. But anyway,
It depends what he's talking about.
so he had on these two archaeologists that, like, the one guy's claim to fame, he's a YouTuber, and his claim to fame is that, like, he found something that's very, very close to the exact description of Atlantis from, like, Google
Yeah, I think
Maps.
I saw this come up in my related videos.
Yeah, and he found it in Google Maps, and then he like I don't remember the story, but he's a legit, like, archaeologist too, or something, or he had a legit archaeologist on the show with him that was, like, corroborating thing. It was very interesting. I like that idea of, like, look at these ancient civilizations.
Yeah.
The Graham Hancock, the pyramids are way older than we think they are. Love that kind of shit, right? It's just interesting to me. And then 20 minutes left in the podcast starts going off the rails to where even Joe Rogan was just like, that's what you think?
Yeah.
Because then it started getting real conspiracy, like, Elon Musk knows that he knows
He's
the
another
real
loony.
secret behind global warming.
Yeah.
He knows
The real secret.
Yeah. He knows Elon Musk knows these things. And then he's like, he's the smartest man in the world, and he's dropping these hints in the, like, almost QAnon level.
Really?
And then I lost all respect for the guy, and I was like, that's not Atlantis. You're fucking weird. Even though I was riveted by it.
Yeah.
Once he started doing that, I was like, you're actually a lunatic.
Yeah.
Like, you're actually, like, you're just seeing something on Google Maps.
And I think that there's a case to be made for. I think there's a line, right? So, like, there's a line for conspiracy, and there's a line for
Lunacy.
hard hitting questions about events that aren't presented
Yeah.
to their, like, okay, they faked the moon landing. That's nuts. They didn't fake the moon landing. That actually happened. Was the JFK assassination done behind the scenes?
Yeah, probably.
There's some real. But here's the thing. It's a legit question to ask because there's not enough information out there.
Mm.
But that doesn't mean that's how it happened.
No.
I think that's where people get lost or people get confused. They think because something's wrong, that doesn't mean it's whatever weird fantasy you create in your head. It might be different than what the public story was.
Yeah.
But it might not be what you think it is. I mean, most of the stuff that's going on in the world, we don't know about. The politicians that know about it, at higher levels of government and state, there's all kinds of things that come out in documents years later that people don't pay attention to and they forget about.
Yeah.
Because it's all of it's lizard brain. They know this. They know how long people will hold on to a story, how people will move on. It's all timed. That stuff is just, you don't need proof of it because there's, like, why, like, of course they would do it that way. Of course the government is telling social media companies what narratives they want to be pushed.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't they do that?
Yeah.
Do you really need a Twitter files? Do you really need leaks at Facebook to figure that out?
No.
You don't. Do you really? Did anybody really need to know that tech stocks are going to crash in 2022? No, because anyone that had a half a brain was listening to smart people that would tell you they're artificially inflating the stock market.
Yeah.
To prevent a huge crash.
Mm-hmm.
Which is what they did. And, there was a little bit of rigging involved behind. But that's the stuff that's really going on. All this critical race theory stuff, all that stuff is just a way to be like, we need to keep these poor people poorer.
Yeah.
And this is how we can hurt this demographic specifically.
Mm-hmm.
It's economic warfare is what it really is. Because if they're not educated well, they can't advance further in their career. Because in real life, what does it's AP advanced level African American history class. This is what they banned in Florida.
Yeah.
So it's like, that's the type of people that are representing us are racists like that.
Yeah.
That represent the Americans in Florida. It's crazy.
Mm.
It's crazy. And people talk about all these things that are like, did this thing happen, or all these crazy conspiracies and all that? It's like this stuff's right out in the open.
Yeah.
You just if you're an idiot, you're not going to say it.
Louis C.K. once said, it always goes back to Louis C.K. He goes,
I love Louis.
I can't say what he said, actually. I can't say what he said.
But he said something.
It was very funny. It basically said, instead of wasting your time folding a dollar bill and seeing the World Trade Center explode on the dollar bill, just if you actually put all of that thought and that like intuitiveness to learn how to fold the dollar bill, you could probably change the world.
Yeah.
Instead of thinking like, and then he was like, of course 9/11 was an inside job. Bush went to school with the fucking, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's all the same thing. All the presidents are related somehow. It's all, of course it is.
Exactly.
But he said that's what they do. They're rich people. They eat little babies. Of course. Of course they do. Stop. Of course they do. And then my favorite thing is when he called Donald Rumsfeld, he asked him if he was a lizard.
Yeah.
Which is like, because we're not a joking podcast today. It's just Lex Friedman pod that we're doing today.
Is in your experience, we actually both, especially you almost have Lex Friedman's haircut.
Yeah.
In your experience, did you find out if Donald Rumsfeld is actually a lizard person?
Oh, I did. Louis, I think, did.
That's fascinating.
Oh my God! Conspiracy theory.
Okay.
What if the reason Louis' tragic night when he got
the canceling of Louis
C.K.
got
canceled? What if it was because he interfered with Rumsfeld and they had to find something on him?
You know what the shame about the Me Too movement was? It started targeting people that weren't Harvey Weinstein level anymore.
Yeah, well, I think at a certain level, what Louis did was
it's creepy.
Shitty.
It's creepy.
But it wasn't Harvey Weinstein level. It wasn't,
I don't like.
It wasn't what's the guy's name? House of Cards.
You know what I don't like? If people are gonna get canceled, there has to be people like Louis that do bad things that aren't bad enough to where they can get uncanceled. Uncanceled is the word. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, he's back doing everything now.
We're wrestling fans. The guy Jay Briscoe that died.
Yeah.
He's a great example. He put out homophobic tweets. So he was confronted about it. He went to therapy. He went to learned sensitivity training. He issued several apologies, tried to make amends, became a real ally of the LGBTQ community and all of that. And Warner Brothers Discovery, huge corporate merger that should have never happened and should have been blocked by the FCC, but I digress.
I own Discover stock, by the way, and when they merged, I lost I think that the stock went from like $45 to like $28.
Don't get me started on corporate mergers on this podcast. But besides that, they wanted to block this guy for that, and because part of their gimmick was, we're Hicks, blah, blah, blah. So they had Confederate gear at one point.
Yeah, they're really from Jersey.
Yeah, Jersey or Delaware.
They were playing characters. They play characters.
Yeah, they play characters. It's fake. If anyone doesn't know, pro wrestling is fake.
Yeah.
But I think the point is that I'm trying to make is, after he died, they put pressure and they allowed his brother and the tribute of him to be put on TV and all that, which was good. But you have to offer people to do something bad.
People that really truly make amends should be given a second chance.
Yeah, exactly. Like if you prove that it was a mistake and you learned from it, you should be able to, of course there's a line. Murderers, rapists, certain levels of crime, certain levels of bad behavior that you can't come back from. And that's what jail should be for. But, a guy like Louis C.K., he shouldn't be canceled forever. He made amends. He apologized. He owned up to it. And he made himself a lesson to anyone else that wants to do creepy things.
Yeah.
So you have to offer people
too,
the path of redemption.
Dana White. I mean, it's not for everybody either, because Dana
John,
White
please explain the Dana White situation.
slapped the shit out of his wife on New Year's Eve, on camera. Slapped the shit out of her, and then
he wound back too.
I mean, this guy. I mean, I don't know. He owns UFC. I don't know if he practices MMA, but he's a big guy. He's a big muscle guy, and he slapped the taste out of his wife's mouth. And then Warner Brothers did not cancel his brand new show called Slapfest, which came out literally the Wednesday after New Year's Eve. First episode ever. And it's a show about people slapping the shit out of each other. That was the...
This is true.
That's the show. And he literally... That's it. There was nothing... The people forgot about it. He slapped the shit out of his wife. On camera.
He destroyed her. He really...
Probably fucking... she was probably bleeding.
Yeah.
I mean, it was crazy.
He said, I accept no responsibility other than how this made me feel or something like that, and the respect people lost for me or something.
The payment.
He don't care.
No, he probably
don't care.
If you're going to hit your
He's
wife,
happy.
If you're going to hit your wife in a club box on a New Year's Eve festival where there's people all around, what are you going to do in private?
Yeah, exactly.
What do you think he's already done? Come on now.
Yeah, I know. This is one of those.
He's a billionaire.
Yeah.
And he's going to make Warner Brothers more money than Jay Briscoe would. So they're going to have Slapfest.
Yep.
After at 11. I'm not going to promote it, but
listen, if you're someone that just is living right now, there's people like Dana White.
Yeah.
That, I mean, it has to be real bad. It has to be like R. Kelly level bad for these people.
Yeah.
To get, put in jail for doing anything.
Look at Elvis.
They're mostly untouched. Look at Elvis.
It was a different time.
He's a prime example.
But no one talks about him, how much of what he did, how he was a pervert, a prevert.
Can you hear me?
Or
I don't want the pod to hear me.
Theo.
Do you know did you know that Elvis is dead?
Yeah.
I just found out.
What was Lisa Marie Presley, 14 when they got married?
I don't know. Really? She was that young?
Yeah. Or is Lisa Marie Presley his daughter? Whatever.
Priscilla?
Oh, that's the daughter's name? She just
I don't
died.
know.
What?
One of them.
We don't know.
I don't know. The Presley? Who the fuck? I don't know.
Well, anyway, his wife, he had a child's wife.
Yeah, she was a kid.
She was a little, I mean, it's really reprehensible.
You know what, though? If Elvis lived in like the 1400s or the 1300s, she would have almost been old enough for him to date. I'm just saying.
She would have been almost old enough.
I'm just saying. If he lived 1,000 years in the past, the social norms, it may have been
okay.
It may have been almost okay.
Well, I think we both knew South Philly guys, and it's probably just a guy thing in general for some people, where they would date these 13-year-olds, and they
13,
were
14,
20.
They're like 19, 20, 21.
The grossest shit.
In South Philly, we call them crumb bum creeps.
That's in Raining in Marconi, which is a song that will be out eventually.
Yeah.
That's what the line means when I think you probably know, but it's what the line means when I say she's probably
such a Casanova.
He's such a Casanova. He's probably 4 years older. Her brother put him in a coma. And then the weather's getting colder because we're just moving on. But
like I said, if this was maybe 800, 900 years ago, I'm thinking that they would have almost been in the green. I'm playing devil's advocate for them.
When did King Henry VIII live?
King Henry VIII is dead, John. No one cares.
Wasn't he the one who had 8 wives or 10 wives or something like that?
He's someone I really respect his legacy. So I'm gonna be if I was the Mack report, that those are the kinds of reactions I'd have to everything.
Yeah.
Everyone that's brought up.
The Mack report.
Yeah, the Mack report. That's when King Henry VIII is like if I was a king, like
that's who I would aspire.
There's like these like right wing podcasts where there's they have a lot of dudes on them, like bros, dudes, men, guys, and they talk about man stuff. Yo, I got this watch, and I went bow hunting, and like I did this. Like they talk about all kinds of guy stuff. Yo, my soap is made out of like pine, like chips of pine.
I do got a
but my soap has like actual wood in it, so when it really exfoliates my skin, it really scratches me up. I love it. It's great, and I haven't taken a warm shower in 17 years. So there's like a ton of those right wing, and I want to be like that king. I want to be the king of those podcasts. So, for example, if King Henry VIII, like if I was made king of a country, I would totally be like King Henry. He's a total bro. I love King Henry VIII.
He's a total bro.
I love who is it? Who was the wife? What was one of his wives?
I couldn't tell you.
I would cut her head off too. If she came to me with that shit, she would. I'll tell you what. She wouldn't have.
She wouldn't have a head.
She'd be detached from her body. That's for sure. She'd be just a head rolling down my hill. And then I would marry her sister too.
That's what you did.
I would marry her sister. Yeah.
Well, it's a different time.
No, I would. Still.
You know, in the Bible, what's some of the shit in the Bible? Oh, we talked about the Bible last week.
I love the Bible.
Yeah,
I love it.
It's like what I read. You know,
I love it. I gain so much wisdom from it. Especially the part about the goats.
Do you like the passage from Henry?
Listen, if I was
8,
if I was
12.
if I was God, and I probably to a certain degree am a little bit.
Yeah.
I might go for the secondborns too. I mean, I would be killing myself, but I'd be God, so I'd be removed from that process. I would. You know what I mean? If you fuck up in my kingdom,
that's it.
You lost your kids.
You get a set of rules.
Unless you rub blood all over I would figure out a way past that too. The blood on the door and all that shit.
Some things that are like they're really.
They bother me. They still bother me.
It's hard to find loopholes around blood on the door.
You know how I'm gonna make a crazy equivalency. You know how FDR passed the New Deal trash legislation. You know how they passed the New Deal and all that shit, and all that, the Great Depression, boo-hoo, all that shit. And you had all the Republicans after, that grew up, and they turned into Reagan Republicans and all. They were just anti-New Dealers.
Yeah.
That's how I still feel about some of the things in the Bible. I still think he didn't go far enough.
Like, what would you like if you were Pontius Pilate?
Yes.
What wouldn't you have done it upside down like they did John the Baptist? When he just
I don't. Here's the thing. Here's the thing. Jesus was a total bro. He was a total bro. So I'm not gonna act like I was Pontius Pilate. 'Cause I'm not. I don't like what he did.
You don't condone violence.
I don't. Don't get me wrong by some of the things you might hear me say on the podcast. I'm not a violent person by nature. I wouldn't define myself as if I took a personality test when I was 15, and I was actually considered in some ways a pacifist. So I can't condone Pontius Pilate for what he did, but
But if it wasn't Jesus,
yeah, or if it wasn't Jesus,
it was just some normal criminal.
Oh yeah, fucking upside down, double nails, the whole bit.
Double nails.
Yeah, the whole bit. Bleed him out slowly. Keep hydrating him, but let him starve to death. All that stuff. Yeah, the Romans, they didn't even know it.
They just tip of the iceberg.
He was weak. He couldn't keep control of his province. That's why people like Jesus even came up in the first place.
Yeah.
But when it got, it's like Tom Brady. Like, you know what I mean? Like Tom Brady. He's the GOAT. Jesus was the GOAT of being like a normal dude, like a bro. Yeah. Jesus was the GOAT of that. Jesus was the
Holy shit! My
you
foot
alright?
Just got so itchy.
It did. Yeah, I used to scratch my foot.
You just let it go now?
No. A real man never lets an itch go. I have this really, really, really sharp. It's like what's those things? You flip them out. They're blades. They flip out.
I was gonna say a bazooka.
An instant blade. I get my instant blade and I go. I get the scratch out. I get the itch out. My father raised me. The itches are under the skin, and if you need to get it out, you just get it out.
I think this character. I really do think we could do like a 5-minute.
There's a tribe in
clip each week.
I know what you're gonna say, and I'm gonna get ahead of it. I did see the video of the tribe that does bloodletting, and I think I'm gonna practice it myself. He says it purges the evils out of your body. Maybe I can get that vaccine out of me too, if you know what I mean.
Oh, you got the vaccine.
Against my will. I don't want to get it, but what was I supposed to do? Not get it?
My foot is so itchy.
Not get it? You know what I mean? How else was I supposed to hang out in Romania with all my buddies? I could do this all day. I could do this. We should have a guest that doesn't know about this podcast. That we should have them on, and I could do this to them.
I was thinking of having a couple people on we'll talk about, but one of them in particular, it would be, and we won't say who this person is, but it would be just for hopefully getting some followers off of them.
Okay. So now every guest that comes on, you don't know which one of you it is. We're using you.
I'll tell you this: it's not someone we played a gig with or are going to play a gig with.
I mean, as long as they're bro, I'm game.
I was thinking of talking about bro. He's actually the opposite. You two wouldn't get along.
We wouldn't get along.
No, because he's the opposite kind of a bro.
I'm very agreeable.
Scott Bravo.
I want to have Scott Bravo on so bad because, well, it would be great to have that kind of thing with him because he knows me though.
Yeah, he does know you.
But it would be great because I think he would play along.
He might. He's been getting pretty frisky on TikTok with Republicans or like right wingers.
I love Scott Bravo.
Yeah, Scott Bravo.
I'm a Scott Bravo. Even and you know me. You know, before we sign off, you know me. As much as I love history, because I love history more than anybody, you'll never meet someone in your life that loves history more than me.
Okay.
Right? I know a good guy when I see one. The same way when I was talking earlier about Jesus, total bro.
Yeah.
Pontius Pilate, not a good dude, right? God, bro. Scott Bravo is a good dude.
What do you think about DeSantis?
Who's that?
What do you think about Trump?
Dude, I fucking love Trump. He's the best. Did you see he has like T-Force One, man? That's his plane after Air Force One.
Oh, T-Force One.
He's got a dude. Trump gets so many bitches. You ever see Trump not have bitches with him?
No.
He's always got bitches with him.
Do you like using the term smoke show a lot?
Smoke show, smoke stack, vertical smoke. I like you. Even sometimes I need an inhaler if I'm around a smoke show. Do you know what I mean? You know what I mean? I'm all about. You know what I am? I'm all about the women, 24/7. 24/7. I won't let it go. That's just who I am.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's who I am. And you know what? This is actually beer.
We got to get a name for this character.
Oh man, yeah, we do.
Like
we do. Oh, because I could phone a friend, and you know what I mean.
Like Titus Leany.
Oh man, we could figure out a really good one. I think.
What if it was like
Bro Mack?
Satchel Brodus.
I was thinking Bro Mack.
What if it was Slim Crawford?
Slim Crawford? It could be Slim Crawford.
I think Slim Crawford's somebody else.
I think that is too, yeah. But I was thinking it could be like, Bro Mack. It could be.
I think you have to be closer to.
I think I figured out the name. I think the name for this character should be George Santos. I think that should be the name of this character.
I'm really George Santos.
I'm the real George Santos. I'm the real George Santos. Unlike that fake in Congress.
Yeah.
I'm the real George Santos. I'm the one that ran that whole time. That was me. I love Jesus. I love the Pope. Dude, did you ever hear about... There's this guy, right? He lives in Italy. He's really cool. Right? The one that's there now is not as cool. It's like a job that they have there, right? They oversee all these people. His name was Benedictine II. He was a really cool guy. He was like a pope or a poppy.
What do you think about Gronkowski?
Dude, I love Gronk. I love Gronk. I do. I modeled my grade school years after him.
Was it? Before we leave, how weird was it that Frank didn't like the? I don't know if I don't remember. I was actually drunk.
Who are you asking?
Real.
Oh, okay. Yeah. What are we talking about?
Remember when I said to Frank, I was like, "You look like you kind of remind me of Gronkowski a little bit."
yeah, I do remember.
Thanks.
Yeah, like it's not a compliment.
Yeah, like Frank, I'm comparing you to
this really rich,
just
famous,
a fun-loving guy.
Yeah. Listen, man.
We gotta pack it in.
If there's anything I've learned over the years, it's you gotta learn how to take compliments.
Oh shit! We gotta pack it in because this is gonna be late.
Yo guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Stay tuned for more next week on the Mack Brothers. Go listen to our friends that we talked about.
League Island Brewing Club. Thank you for sponsoring the pod once again. Go listen to Scott Bravo. We talked about it. Go listen to Fired Up. Go listen to the Rights of Ricky Sanchez. Bro Matthew is... We had to figure out a name for him.
We do have to figure out a name for Bro Matthew.
This was the Lex Friedman Show.
This was the Lex Friedman Podcast. Thank you for listening. As always, stay humble, stay smart, perform a random act of kindness to someone, and stay you.